All right, welcome to the Two Broke Dudes podcast.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Guys,
Do we want to go over how much money we have to our names right now? Because I am on the verge of collapse.
It's going to be the episode title right there. Like, how bad are we talking? Do I need to bail you out?
There's a chance, like, if they don't get, if my employer doesn't get their shit together and pay me soon, I'm down to like 4 sausages, a little bit of greens, a bottle of cream cheese, which doesn't do any good because I don't have any bagels or anything. Like I'm no protein bars. I've got pancake mix and I've got eggs, so I could make pancakes. But anyways, point being is like it's not a ton of food, and I've got $17.29 in my bank account. So, and I need to pay for lunch at work. So, yeah, I don't have any money.
So, guys, if you've been looking for a reason to finally give on our Patreon, this is it.
This is fucking it. Please, dear God, allow me.
We need your help. I don't have any food problems, but my ability to afford recreational drugs is now completely absent. I think I'm $30 short this week. I have to figure out a way to come up with $30 this week. So, yeah, looking good.
Looking good. Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't be sued for saying this. But rumor has it that if you donate to the podcast, it's a tax write-off. We're a charity, or we're a charity now.
That is just
for profit.
That is a rumor. You know, we're not saying it's true, but we're also not saying it's not true. We're, declining comment.
We've heard it down the pipeline,
but
we're not saying it.
Many people have been saying that.
Many of our listeners have been saying it.
So, guys, if you're looking for, a way to, you need to write off a little bit in this upcoming tax season, hey, we have a perfect gift for yourself. Help you, help us, help you, help us all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what we really need to work on is becoming one of the, like, you know how like people who are all I don't know, whatever, they fuck Obamacare and all this shit and this, so they don't want healthcare or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like part of Obamacare is like you have to pay like a hefty tax or whatever, like if you don't get health insurance.
Yeah.
But there's some write-off where if you donate to like a certain kind of church that like does like health, like provides, I don't know, whatever. Like if you donate to a religious organization that provides some form of healthcare or something, then you don't have to pay that tax. That counts as a write-off for that. So on your idea of us being solving depression with like EDM rave concerts, I think we could claim non-for-profit charitable healthcare organization religious status all in one.
I think you might be right. I think this might be this is the future of business right here, dude. This is what I'm talking about.
We are both a religion, a record label, and a business.
It's all coming together, dude.
The Based Cucks Network. You've heard of Amazon and Google, but have you heard of Based Cucks?
And all of our
BC. That's what everyone's going to say.
The BC. All of our tickets to everything will be sold on the blockchain.
Yeah. Discounts depending on the type of coin you use. What coin do we want people to pay us with?
What am I holding right now? I think I might have. I have like $10 in Cardano, which is almost certainly bullshit, but whatever.
It's all bullshit.
Oh, I guess I could liquidate those assets, and then I would have money. No, I can't do that. You got to think about the future returns on that shit right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those coins, those are going to 5, 10, 50x in Q1.
If the government did anything productive, they would shut down fucking crypto. But that's not going to happen.
Dude, that'll start the snowballing.
It could. Because right now, like big money, whatever, like it's not everyone fucks around with the whole crypto shit, lobbyists and all that. It's not working in all their best favor.
We are very quickly approaching the point of diminishing returns, though, where I think if it doesn't happen soon, it's never going to happen.
As far as shutting it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, maybe
like, the hassle of shutting it down, it's like you can't just, I mean, you could ban it in the United States, but like you can't shut it down. Because there's no.
Yeah, I mean, legislatively, what would the approach there be?
Well, at least legislatively, it should be subject to like whatever regulation that the stock market is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's pretty epic that it's not. That there's no. Are there capital gains on crypto?
Yeah, you don't pay any taxes on selling. Like if you make a lot of profit selling Bitcoin, do you sell taxes on?
The IRS generally defines cryptocurrency as property for tax purposes.
That's epic.
Investors must pay levies on the difference between purchase and sale price. If there's profit on assets held for less than 1 year, it's a short-term gain subject to marginal tax rates from 10 to 37%. But the first article that comes out or that comes up on Google is 4 year-end moves to slash your cryptocurrency tax bill. So it really can't be that hard to get around. That's the first fucking.
Yeah, it can't be that fucking hard to get around. I don't know. I just want it shut down. The meme was funny for all of 2 seconds, and now no.
What's your argument for shutting it down?
Because it's inevitably like somehow, some way, motherfucking like just it's gonna the same shit that happens every time with some big new booming asset is like the 1%. They're gonna find a way to like take advantage of it and fuck over everyone else. On top of the fact that it's like produces more environmental, like bad epic science terms here, which I can't.
Carbon transmissions. Is
all that shit. Than like Argentina or whatever. Like it's just a shit show for the environment, and I don't know. An unregulated currency just sounds like an inherent recipe for disaster.
Unless you're a libertarian. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. I would be shocked if, here's the thing, right? Is that like no one, I don't know if people, it seems like we're in a massive asset bubble, right? It seems that way, potentially. Maybe some people are saying we are not financial advisors, don't listen to us, but like it kind of seems like we're in a speculative bubble here. Yeah. And I got to wonder if there's like a sentiment of like, don't touch it, because as soon as you start like fucking with shit, then like all it takes is you just tank consumer confidence, and all of a sudden the market like falls off a cliff.
It will crash and burn.
It will all crash and burn. Exactly.
But the market's gonna fall off a cliff at some fucking point, anyways, right? Because
whatever. I mean, that would seem to be probably.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most like bland statement, so it might not actually have much meaning, but like the system as is isn't functional long term. Like there's just too many problems.
Yeah.
Like shit. Well, like something like, oh wait, it's gonna happen again and then again, and I don't, like I don't know, fucking until the system collapses in on itself, and then we've got anarchy, and then Bitcoin would be epic.
And then Bitcoin would be when we go to Mad Max world.
Yeah, dude, who's gonna make the fucking movie, the post-apocalyptic movie where the one resource that everyone's after is crypto?
Who would make that? I think Elon Musk. Oh, dude, Elon Musk, Michael Bay joint project where Elon wants to get into directing. Now that he's begun to tire of his career as the world's smartest man, now he's going to become the world's most entertaining man.
Did you watch Elon on SNL?
No. Was that funny?
I mean, it's funny just at how autistic he is, but like, and I don't say that like offensively. Like the dude has autism. It just couldn't be more clear that he has autism, or some form of. I know we're not. Isn't what's it called? Asperger's like out of.
Yeah, it's not the terminology that's used. It's a spectrum, right? So it's you're on the spectrum.
So you would just describe someone as on the spectrum. That would be.
I think so, but I'm not. I got to double check.
So okay, Elon Musk is on the spectrum, and he's a shitbag, so I'll say he has Asperger's, like, because I don't, who gives a fuck about Elon, but there, I mean, he's just like socially retarded. I don't even know.
Yeah, he's not a smooth talker. It's kind of amazing how like inept he is, and even kind of like very normal conversations. He just kind of starts talking like this. I don't know. It's just the way he speaks is very like off-putting.
The government's the biggest corporation, actually. Whatever. Yeah. But on SNL, he had a couple different skits, and they were all cringe and terrible. One of them was like the SJW hospital or something. The doctor's like, "Yo, your friend's about and like they couldn't use the word die, and they're all saying like rad and whatever." It's like cringe as hell. It's like pretending that 25-year-olds talk like, "Yo, that's totally rad, bro," but it's like SJ whatever, terrible. And Elon plays the doctor there, like telling these kids, whatever, not funny. But then there's one where like Pete Davidson makes it funny because he's like got to save the human race doing something on the moon, and he like kills himself on accident. His head blows up and whatever. But it reminded me that it had a similar enough like post-apocalyptic vibe to it that I could see Elon doing the same thing on SNL with crypto. Being like, I've got to find. He's like pretending to be like, without realizing it, Mr. fucking like socialist savior. Like, I've got to spread the wealth. I've got to give everyone crypto. It'll solve world hunger.
This is it, man. And that's if everyone had just bought Bitcoin.
Yeah. Everyone needs Dogecoin. They need it.
I missed the run up on Dogecoin. I'm hoping to make some easy bucks so I can get myself out of debt. Dude, it just occurred to me that neither one of us can afford a copy of Black Ops 2 right now. A game from 10 years ago.
Neither one of us can. Yeah, we discovered that is still being sold for, what was it, $50?
Yeah, $50. Yeah.
Incredible. Activision really needs to. What a scumbag. Just everything about it is just so shit. The games keep getting worse, and they just make millions and like hundreds of millions of dollars off of the in-store or whatever, like in-game cosmetic purchases and shit. And yet they're still trying to sell old games for $50. What a bunch of fuckers.
Do you think, well, I mean, they're going to keep doing this until people stop buying the game, which is...
Well, Warzone's free. So,
right.
And that's just to get more... They realized, like with Fortnite or whatever the fuck, that you can make so much more money by getting more people on the game and then just boosting the want for prioritizing marketing all the like skins and cosmetics. And then you just make infinite money. And it's good for content creators too, because that way content creators have give you a code that you can, which by the way, like every other code, like whenever someone's sponsored by someone online, like it gives you a discount. You don't get a discount when you use a content creator's code in the COD store.
Really?
The only thing that happens is that content creator just gets some money.
I mean, okay, at least you can support your favorite content creators like Based Cucks with code WeAreCucks on the Call of Duty store.
Refuse to cooperate with Activision.
We don't negotiate with terrorists, dude.
Not negotiate with terrorists. Damn.
Do you think, in retrospect of Vanguard being out for a few months now, do you think it's a notable decline in quality from the past couple games?
Well, let's see. No, last year was the worst COD ever released by a mile. Treyarch was like bored of it. It's like I don't know. It was just prime like. Sometimes things just like. It's sort of, and the reality of it is that this is sort of a generalized true statement about Call of Duty in general, which is just like at some point with things, you need to recognize that they peaked and they were great for what they were, but just trying to recreate it in slightly different ways is never going to be good again in the way it was during like COD's prime. Like it'll never be fun enough again, but it was just like tenfold with Treyarch's Black Ops 5 was just like the fifth one. Like, how much new shit can we do to make it actually fun? And they were clearly bored as fuck of the Black Ops series, and it was terrible. It was the worst one ever released.
So what made it terrible in your mind?
There were like 6 maps, and they were all had shitty design, and the guns were just like bored.
Just bland,
like, yeah,
overdone.
Everything about it was just bland. Like, there was nothing about it. Kill streaks weren't fun to get. And Treyarch has always done well. It's not as if they've struggled with player count, but their kill streak thing has always been whack, because without a nuke, you need to find ways to make it interesting. But the kill streaks fucking sucked, and I don't think they had advanced UAV. And all this, it was just like, and I think there was skill-based matchmaking. So it's just all these things coming together where it's like the Activision pressure to make it as even a playing field as possible, so that there's no skill gap, on top of the Treyarch people being bored of making the same game every other year, just came out into this bleh, like not nearly enough maps, boring guns, nothing was fun. But so this year, I mean, it's just like, it's not a bad COD, but it just feels like World War II all over again. And it's, I don't know, like, to a certain extent, like, COD is only going to ever be super fun for people who've never played it before hopping on a new game. Like, they need to experience that new COD thing in order for it to be super fun. Like, for those of us who've been playing since Black Ops 1 or Modern Warfare 2 or any of that shit, it just never will be. They could release the quote unquote perfect game and it wouldn't be fun if it's still Call of Duty the way it was back then. So the combination of all those things coming together in Black Ops 5 was fucking terrible. I mean, just an abomination. And this year, it's like, it's not good, but also, I don't know, there's so much cheating going on that, like, Activision's spending so much time focusing on how to remove cheaters that, like, shit isn't getting updated in the game as fast as we're used to. So there's just so many. I don't fucking know. Fuck Call of Duty.
So
fuck Activision. I'm done.
With all of that said, if Activision cut you a fat check to give them a plan to, like, breathe new life into this series or whatever, as a long-term fan, as ostensibly a Call of Duty expert, former pro player, what changes would you make? What would you do to maybe not recapture the glory days? What direction would you take things in?
I would shut it down. And I don't say that, I don't say that jokingly. Like, they need to go a whole new. Whether it be, they need to, like, go all in on Warzone and have multiple Warzone maps, or like it. The generic team deathmatch multiplayer is just dead. Like, it's just not fun anymore. I don't think that. Or they need to switch to a system like Halo or something where it comes out every couple of years or something, and so that like the game is actually changing in a way that's, like, notable. There's some form of, like, progression, or I don't know, but this once a year releasing something that's not done upon release date and doesn't really get finished until about 6 months after release date. And then by then it's kind of dead. And then you wait for the next one and you get hyped and you play it for 3 weeks and it's the most fun thing in the world. And then you realize, oh my God, this game sucks. And then you wait and then the game gets fixed like 6 months into it. And then the following summer, you're like, oh, it's kind of fun. And you play every once in a while. And it's just like the same boring cycle. And obviously they won't do it because it makes so much money. But, like, I think in a perfect world, that is what would happen. They would put all their energy into some new game mode or something. Get rid of the traditional multiplayer
and slow the fuck down with a release schedule.
Yeah, like, what would be fun? Here's what would be fun. Like, if COD released like if they went 2 directions, if they went all in, if they spent like half their time, they just got rid of multiplayer as is and said, all right, we're gonna introduce multiple Warzone maps, multiple. We're just going to increase our updated, like, our multiplayer team basically is going to be doing Warzone full time. And put all our effort into that, and then maybe put like 25% of your time into like every couple of years, like a Rainbow Six style competitive level, like that emphasis on competitive gameplay comes out where it's like COD competitive, and that's the game, is it's full blown meant for competitive, and it's never some like side game mode. It's not a thing where we're in the year fucking 2022 and if you want to play competitive COD, you have to sign up on some janky ass website that pairs you with kids, and you have to send friend requests and hop into private matches, and you deal with kids shutting off the internet mid-match, and you deal with lag and all that. Like, no, have fucking have a
Is that really how it works?
That's really still how they kind of fixed it. And in Infinite Warfare, they finally added a competitive playlist where when you use the COD like competitive website, like when it matched you and then you entered the lobby, it would just pair you together in like an actual multiplayer lobby. But they've just said, fuck that. Like there's not enough competitive players. So it still is the case that you have to send friend requests and hop into private matches and all that shit to play, which is a disaster zone. And then there's no like you don't level up in the game in any meaningful way. Like there's no like competitive badges or anything. It's only on that one website, which is like still cool to have the leaderboards there. It's better than nothing, but I think that would be sick if they went all in on some sort of competitive, like a competitive COD. And then because Warzone's fun enough that if they put a lot of effort into making Warzone, I don't know, find a way to increase the skill gap there somehow, maybe add some extra, like have a fucking map where there's like boost jumping in Warzone and like introduce, I don't know, maybe make it futuristic or whatever and have some like fucking, what's it called? Altered carbon.
Cyborg, robot. Neural interface.
I forget this every time. It's like the
chip
name,
in the back of your head.
It's the name of the genre.
Oh, cyberpunk.
Yeah. Like have like a cyberpunk themed map or something where there's like neon walls and shit everywhere, and everyone's boost jumping around, and make the skill like. Then you can keep the other map, but then like have that one be for kids who really want to fucking have movement be like the crucial thing in Warzone, which is not in Warzone right now. It's just about driving around in cars and then having good aim. It's not really, I mean, movement matters, but not nowhere compared to like Fortnite or something. So that's my solution. Those are my ideas.
Give up.
Just chop multiplayer as it exists. And like, I think that given the success that the Rainbow Six franchise had, like, I think that if COD, you can't make the same amount of money, so it won't happen, and it sucks. But if they took the same engine, took some classic guns, went all in on making maps that were specifically made for competitive, that could be so fun. And
for a very small cohort of players.
I don't know. I think it would increase the pop. Well, you'd have to still recognize, like, realistically, if this were to ever happen, like, there's an understanding that like 80% of the player base or something like that, maybe even more, is probably going to be doing the battle royale. The battle royale right now is where everything's going as far as like games that are trying to get like massive player populations in, which is what COD is always trying to do. So I think you could, take your multiplayer, take Infinity Ward and take, I don't know how you do it, but you could set it up in such a way that 80% of your devs are working on Warzone and 20% on this competitive game that maybe comes out once every 3 years or something and then is updated. And I think that they could, if Rainbow Six can be a successful game, then I think they could do it with COD. I think you'd get players like me who've always had an interest in competitive, but never really gone all in because of all the extra steps. Like I would play that. I would genuinely play that. Even if it was like average, like having like full blown, really intricate level of competitive playlists, I would play that a ton. And I would play, like, it would encourage me to play with other people too.
But will they get more money?
No, I mean, none of this is ever going to happen because that's not the way you maximize profits.
Yeah. But, damn, so disappointing. Do you agree with this kind of often repeated sentiment that I've seen online popping up more and more, that like AAA games are like have become too bloated and are like in a bubble, essentially. Like quality is not as high as it used to be, and at the same time, like monetization is more aggressive than ever.
Yeah. I think unironically, like supply drops ruined video games.
Yeah, they kind of did, dude.
Because
It's
when
just
the game started to realize, sorry to interrupt, I'll just say this real quick. Like, this is the point that everyone sort of knows in the back of their mind, and maybe they haven't put it fully together. It's not like I've got some new breaking news, like new way of thinking here, but like when you can make more money selling cosmetic items in a game than selling the game, then the emphasis to make a good game it takes a back seat to making a game that's going to emphasize making the most cosmetic sales.
yeah.
So now there's no the pressure that Call of Duty felt every year to come up with a title that had good quality multiplayer, because that was the only thing people were buying it for. And then maybe they were buying some DLC packs, which is bullshit in and of itself. Like DLC should all be paying $60 for a video game, whatever. Like, yeah, it's fucked. There's no, who cares if it's an average game? Because you only need, what is it, like 1% of your player pool to be routinely spending money in the fucking
Yeah,
store,
I mean,
and then you're making
once you hit a large
more.
enough scale, yeah.
It's like why Clash of Clans is still, I still play it, but like that's why it's still like updated. Like every couple of weeks, there's an update to Clash of Clans, is because there's still like 1% some weirdos out there who just pay a ton of money on the game.
How much money do you think you've spent on Clash of Clans?
I can honest to God say, and this isn't true about other mobile games, I have spent money on other mobile games. I honest to God haven't spent a penny.
What is the most you spent on a mobile game?
There was like my brother and one of our friends and I really got into like Madden 12 or something.
Okay.
On an iPhone, something like that. And I probably spent, I don't know, maybe $50 or something in the App Store on. I haven't gone absolutely bonkers on mobile games. I have spent more money than I'm happy to admit on like COD cosmetic stuff. But even then, I've never really gone that crazy. I've never had like a buying spree in a video game store where I've woken up the next day and been like, shit, I really regret that.
Oh my, yeah, dude, that sounds fucking terrifying. How much do you think you've spent on COD cumulatively?
Like including buying the game or just like on cosmetics?
No, let's just say just cosmetics.
Over the course of probably less than $500.
Okay. All right.
Maybe more, but I really don't think so. I haven't spent a dime on a COD cosmetic thing since, because part of what helps this is that I haven't been that into COD since, when's the last one I really cared about? Maybe World War II, but I don't know if I spent any money on that one.
Now imagine if you put all that money in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Then I'd be a fucker on Twitter trying to sell. That's, anyways, to go back to that real quick. That's more than anything why I want to ban it, is because of how much I hate people on Twitter who are like
the crypto bros.
Yeah, it's like they remind me of the motherfuckers who will show up at your house and be like, hey, I just wanted to remind you that like Jesus loves you, and like that shit. Like it's the same, like, get the fuck out of my private space here, bro. Leave me alone. I don't.
But the thing is, they're always
crypto.
Fucking raving about like how the monetary system is on like the brink of collapse. And like when that happens, like your crypto holdings will be the only thing between you and being one of those fucking deformed people from Mad Max or something.
Yeah. I saw a tweet that I think explained this, or it was like in the 240 character limit, like did a really good job of wording it. It was something along the lines of like, if all these people who were like the crypto bros on Twitter, like the people who are that obsessed with it, if it was true that this is some like hidden commodity that's inevitably going to explode, the last thing they should be doing is telling other people to buy it. And they should just be buying as low as they can and just waiting for it to explode.
Yeah.
If you're buying it low and your way of helping it to explode is telling everyone around you that they need to buy it too, then you're in pyramid scheme territory where it's like actually not. You don't actually believe it if you think that you need to convince everyone else to buy it. So
you don't buy your own hype. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the only way you think it's going to happen is if you and all your, like, you can convince another person who can convince another person. And then it's just like, well, we could say the same thing about, I don't know, any random shit that the internet decides we're going to turn this into something that's valuable. Like it could be anything. You know what I mean? Then it's just a pyramid scheme.
Now, I mean, the counterpoint there would be like, if no one ever started talking it up, it would never, ever blow up and no one would ever make any money.
Yeah. So it's a literally valueless. It's inherently valueless.
Okay. Yeah. It's the value. Yeah, sure. Yeah. It seems pretty dumb to me. It doesn't pass my sniff test, but I also got to wonder, like, is there something I'm missing? Like, is there something that I've just like lost the plot on here? Or maybe I'm just like angry that I didn't get in sooner, but it's, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe we should do a crypto episode where we both do a ton of research and then actually figure out what's going on with this.
So fucking boring. I don't know. I also just like don't want to, not that we have like any sort of following yet, but just like, it's one of those topics where if you bring it up and you're not like someone who's spent the past 10 years of your life exclusively researching crypto and don't have a full-blown understanding of the blockchain, then like people will like, it's like mansplaining on Twitter, but it's like crypto splaining. It'd be like, oh, like this person's just not smart enough. They don't get it.
They're just not even to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we'll see.
I fucking hate those people. So it just drives me nuts.
If it behaves like I would suspect that it would behave, then around the time of the next market crash, it should fall off a cliff and I don't know, maybe maintain some value. Maybe people will eventually figure out like a genuinely useful thing to do with it. But hey, we'll see.
Once the thing is like without any regulation, it's so easily manipulable, right? Like, because once a few like billionaires decide to put in hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin, like they start to control the market. They start to fully control it.
Well, sure, but that's just like that could theoretically happen with a bunch of commodities in just a society with hyper concentrated wealth.
Yeah,
right. So like, yeah, you're right, but
in theory, right, one can't, like, it's technically speaking against the law to short a stock. Like you can't.
Price manipulation.
You can't sell all your. You can't have hundreds of. You can't have millions of shares of whatever company and then sell it, and you fucking shorted it before you
right.
You can't do that shit. So if it's not regulated, like who's gonna fucking stop you from doing that with Bitcoin and just full blown like. And I don't even know if there's like futures in crypto. I don't think that there are yet. I imagine that might not even be allowed because of how easy that would be to manipulate. But like, I don't know.
Oh boy. Bitcoin futures do exist. Very exciting.
That is not like, I don't know.
Terrifying.
It's just fucking stupid. I don't know. You know what doesn't make any sense? I watched a Hassan video on the similar topic regarding Bitcoin and Elon Musk and all this shit. Like, how the fuck do we explain why Tesla stock is up like thousands of percents or whatever in the past? Like, but it had that massive jump like a year, whatever it was ago.
Yeah, it's all just investor confidence, right?
It's just 100% speculation and has nothing to do with numbers regarding sales, because their sales haven't increased. They just had to recall like 250,000 cars, and they're still like, there's still, as far as like car purchases in the United States, they're like 0.1% or something. Like they're fucking tiny, and yet their stock is worth what? Like Ford per share is what, like $50 or something? And
Yeah, they have a higher market. They have like the highest market cap of any fucking U.S. automaker or something.
And the fucking Tesla stock is selling like 800 a share. I mean, it's just, I don't.
Well, it doesn't really mean anything unless you know how many shares are outstanding. Yeah, but they are the largest by a factor of almost 4.
Who?
Tesla.
Yeah, like that.
So according to their valuation, they're 4 times bigger than Toyota. But I mean, that's not really what share price is, right? The point is it's estimated future earnings that are.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but all right, I don't understand it fully the way I'm sure you understand it better than I do. I can conceptualize what that means. I guess more just the point is just like something is slightly broken.
Oh, I mean, it's clearly speculation. Like, there's no doubt about that, right?
Yeah, and that just doesn't make any. I don't know. Like something's weird because that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're just in a market bubble. People are just really confident, or the people who are buying at least are really confident that everything will keep going up. So as soon as that shatters, like, I mean, this is the counter argument here is that like cooler heads will eventually prevail when all this asset bubble pops and these prices come like smashing back down, which will potentially bring other more valuable companies back down as well, just because that's kind of how the market works. Which could mean
not nearly as drastically.
Well, yeah, but the point is
that
the market crash stocks on
Tesla
sale.
would be one of the stocks that would probably go to shit, right? Like it would dip fast.
Yeah, probably, unless its investors are just like significantly more, maintain confidence about its future.
Yeah, it would depend what caused the crash.
Well, sure, yeah,
but
we can imagine that. It seems like if we're assuming that consumer confidence it's realistically too high right now, that a decline in consumer confidence would probably result in a decline in the Tesla market cap as well, assuming that those two
is way too high. Elon's a fucking idiot.
Dude, but the tunnel though.
Did you see all the videos of people stuck in traffic in the fucking tunnels?
Yeah, dude. Do you remember the Big Dig in Boston?
No. That sounds hilarious, though.
Yeah, it's when they built all the tunnels that like that. Well, not all the tunnels. They built a major tunnel that went under the city. I think it was supposed to be finished in like the mid 90s, and it took till 2005 and like spent like 5 times the budget it was supposed to. And the traffic in the tunnels still often sucks ass. So it is an improvement.
It's still terrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
At time. I mean, it depends, but still, like it's terrible.
But it's like, okay, what if we did the Big Dig, but it's a 1-lane tunnel? Like, what kind of a dumb fuck pitch is that?
Yeah.
Like, again, I just gotta wonder, like, am I missing something here? Like, I know we can go on Twitter and meme about like, oh my, he's like so stupid, like he's never heard of like a bus or whatever. But like, genuinely, what am I missing?
I think that the explanation genuinely is like, so picture your average, like we all knew a kid, and I'm not going to name names, but we knew a kid or two in high school and in college, like super brainiac nerd when it came to like tech or something. Like they had some specific niche where they were like, you could tell like this kid's bordering on genius. They're super fucking smart, but everything else about them, no social skills, no conception of like normal day-to-day life, like a little bit of borderline sociopath going on. And you give that person billions of dollars, and like
this is what happens.
Okay. They're on certain aspects of understanding life, they're fucking clueless. And there's an added aspect of it with Elon where he's like, so much of his like technology or whatever, he's like, I can solve anything in the world. It's like, someone would say to Elon, like, well, look what happened in Boston. And he'd be like, his response would be to not even analyze what happened and just be like, well, I wasn't leading that.
Right. Like this time it will be different, or my problems. Yeah.
And he's a fucking billionaire and he's whatever. And so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. And then it doesn't actually do anything because building tunnels clearly wasn't, that was the fucking answer to solving traffic. we would have taken care of that.
Dude, it's so cool how in 50 years we've went from rewarding types of behavior where it's like if you're, a fucking domineering dude, you can just like slap women's asses and get drunk at lunch, and that's like the most successful people in the world. Now we've engineered a system where it's the loser nerds get to rule over us. I don't know which is worse, honestly, because at least like the people, at the top used to be chads. I mean, like they were still sociopath assholes, but they were Chad sociopath assholes.
They were epic.
Yeah, they were like Patrick Bateman. Exactly.
Yeah.
Although he perfectly straddles the line because he's a fucking weirdo too. So really, Patrick Bateman is the bridge between the fucking Don Draper executive and the Zuck.
The Zuck, the Beth Jesus.
Beth Jesus.
Beth Jesus. Oh, I'm gonna. Do you think that Twitter account exists? Beth Jizzos.
Beth Jizzos
with the B, and then Jizzos. I think I'm gonna make that. That could be a really successful, fucking Beth Jizzos.
That doesn't. Yes, this exists. Unfortunately,
do any of them have lots of followers?
Oh my God, he's got 847,000 followers.
Someone with the name Beth Jizzos, really?
No, I'm kidding. He has 847 followers. He's also Canadian, so you could probably like.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, if you're not famous already, I can just steal it, and whoever blows up gets to claim ownership.
That's right. It's whoever got there first.
Account, right? Yeah, whoever gets verified first. Well, no, I wouldn't get verified because it's a satire account, but whatever.
Twitter should change that, by the way. I think satire accounts should be able to become verified.
Certain satire accounts are like arguably like the best. When done right, they're like the best Twitter accounts by a mile.
Yeah, it's the best Twitter has to offer. It's arguably like the one thing that the platform is best suited towards.
Yeah. The I know you don't do sports, but the Stephen A. Smith burner account is I think like the most unanimously loved account on the internet.
What is this guy's deal? Give me some context here.
Well, do you know who Stephen A. Smith is?
No.
Oh, well then, whatever. He's just like an ESPN personality, and he's like one of the originators of the like sports debate show, like one of the first to like really. I don't know if he's one of the first, but he's like what ESPN's like front guy.
Mm-hmm.
He just has all these funny sayings and mannerisms and all this shit. And just so many funny clips. And this Stephen A. Smith burner will just like reply to like anything on sports Twitter with a different clip of Stephen A. And they're all like a hilarious response. So everyone just fucking loves it and finds it hilarious. But you know the meme, right? Of like, he doesn't miss, or like,
yeah.
Like just people will just like spam that in reply to everything he replies to. And it's just like, it's all love and fun. It's epic. No one hates on the Stephen A. Smith burner account. Everyone just loves it.
Which is so rare for Twitter.
How many things on Twitter is that true for? I don't think anyone's posted a negative meme about Stephen A. Smith burner probably ever.
Incredible.
Yeah.
This is the one thing we can apparently all unite behind is the Stephen A. Smith burner account.
Yeah. Stephen A. Smith burner for Prez.
Dude, I'd be down for that. We need to change it up. We need change in the system.
Dude. You know what else was the best? This will be the last sports topic because I know it's not, or whatever, particularly golf. I mean, that's but the Tiger Woods tracker, the one that was a guy who was paid by NBC to track Tiger Woods and tweet about him. Mm-hmm. Biggest dick energy of all time of anyone ever on Twitter. I mean, you would just, if you could, like, this guy is hired by NBC, verified account, like, he's like a sports reporter or whatever, but basically just an anonymous guy who's hired by NBC to follow Tiger around all his tournaments and just live tweet his shots.
Mm-hmm.
But just if in any way, shape, or form you could interpret like a response to his tweet as not just being like either very pro Tiger or very pro Tiger tracker, like even just like not negative, but just like whatever,
mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Objective commentary.
Yeah. Sure. Like block, fuck you, blocked. Block everyone. You just block everyone. And it was like this meme, and it was so fucking funny. So his replies were all people just like sucking him off because of how funny he was. He would just block everyone. It's this dude who's an employee of NBC, just following Tiger around. It was very epic. It just like for Tiger's personality and being what he's most famous for outside of the golf world, for like cheating on his wife with like 20 something women, like epic, incredibly epic. So a lot of people
glad
love
we've
that account.
yeah, dude, we found a use for Twitter at last.
Yeah, but they didn't. NBC didn't. NBC let him go, which was genuinely devastating. I was devastated when that happened.
Dude, why would they do that?
Well, part of it is like Tiger has been playing less, and then I think that they let him go before he got in his recent car accident, but like he hasn't played in a tournament since that car accident. And like, you know, he's getting into his mid 40s or whatever, and in theory the sport is trying to like find another star to get new viewers, but they still just can't. So
do you think golf will die?
No, I don't think golf's going to die. There's too many rich people who play golf. I think it might become like more and more niche. And I wouldn't be shocked if in like 50 years, yeah, like it's like still an Olympic sport, and you're like watching these people in the Olympics. It's like polo or something where you're watching people in the Olympics who are just fucking nasty at something, and you've never heard of someone in your life ever playing it. And you're like, how does someone get that good at this thing that no one's ever actually played for? Like, I don't know. That's what golf's gonna be.
It'll be like squash.
Yeah, it'll be exactly like squash, because only fucking children of millionaires will play it.
What is squash, by the way? Did you ever go to like a rec center that had like a squash
actually
court?
is a ton of fun.
Have you
ever played?
I'm aware that it's played in some kind of giant box, and it looks kind of like tennis.
It's like if you combined tennis with Wii tennis. It's just super fast pace, like bing, 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 bing. Because you hit it off the wall, and then it's allowed to bounce once, and the other person has to hit it off the wall. And you and the other person are against each other, hitting it off the same wall. And if it bounces twice, if they hit it off the wall and then it bounces twice, you lose. That might not be exactly right, but that's the idea of it. Instead of hitting the ball to back and forth on other sides of like a net, you're hitting it just off a wall in front of you. And if it bounces twice, or if it hits the side, like if you hit it off a side wall, then you lose. Like you have to hit it off the wall in front of you. And so you're like kind of like avoiding each other and just hitting this really bouncy ball off of a wall, and just you can hammer it because it's really soft, and so it won't hurt if you get hit by it. And fun fact, my great grandfather was national squash champion when he was at Dartmouth College.
That's pretty cool. And I think you just doxed yourself, because now people could figure out who you are.
If they can, they can figure out that my great grandfather went to Dartmouth College. I'm not sure that helps in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
I am.
That's probably not. Unless, well, never mind. I'm not going to give anyone any tips on how to dox you, but I can think of a way from sufficiently like vague information. I think I could.
But even though, well, no, I mean, like I don't give a shit in saying, and I think I've said it on here before, that I live in the town where Dartmouth is, if that's what you mean. Well, I don't live there anymore, but I did. I grew up there. But I still don't even think that that's enough information. What are you going to Google? Hanover, New Hampshire based cucks. Good luck finding a link there. Hanover, New Hampshire. I guess you've said the name Chris, so you could search Hanover, New Hampshire Chris. But I still don't even.
That would be pretty. That's a lot of people. Yeah. Speaking of not being in Hanover,
people, but maybe you could. If someone wants to put in that fucking effort, then good for them.
Good for them. How's the how's the new town?
The new town.
Yeah, dude. Now that you've moved out into the ultimate bachelor pad.
I wish I lived in it. How many states do you think have town? I'm going to Google this, because Actually, no, we've made so many references to Boston that they know we're in Mass.
Yeah, you live in the greater Boston area.
Yeah.
Just
no, but
yeah.
what I was gonna, if where I lived state-wise hadn't been already known, and I lived in a town that had like it's like if I lived in like Springfield, Indiana or something, like I would just say I live in Springfield because there's a Springfield in like every state or whatever. It wouldn't help. So I wish I could do that, but I'm not going to do that. The new town is epic, actually, like really, really cool. This road I live on is fucking awesome. I discovered the other day when I was out for a walk that I live 1.5 miles from this like Revolutionary War battle memoriam site thing, which is kind of cool. There's all sorts of like everything I need is just on my street. I don't have to make any turns. I can go to a bank. I can go to multiple liquor stores, multiple different kinds of grocery stores, very like generic, like Target, all the way down to like your local farm based, like you want to buy local meat and produce. I don't know, barbershops. There's multiple on my street. So I have my pick of the litter there. 2 CVS's. Yeah. Bank.
Damn,
bank
dude, you're
right
killing
next
it.
door. Yeah.
It's like the optimal location. Any good bars?
I haven't been into any on my street. There's a sports bar and grill like right next to my thing, and I'll probably go there at some point. But the thing for me is like, I don't. The bar scene that I'm into at this point in my life is like very much the dive bar, like going and being like going to them when I'm drunk to like just interact with people.
Yeah.
I am not the kind of person who even remotely enjoys like a sober Tuesday night burger at my local sports grill bar watching the Bruins. Like,
yeah, I'm not like
I'm not into that at all.
what about that turns you off?
Just all the fucking people around me. Like, if I'm gonna watch a sports game, I want to fucking watch. And I also like, just frankly, don't make enough money to pay to go out for dinner on a Tuesday night by myself. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I could order one burger and a drink for probably like $15 or some shit. And I have to tip and all that nonsense. Or I could just go buy like ground beef and make burgers how I like to make them and spend way less money and watch the sports game and be able to hear it because I get to control the volume. I don't have to listen to people talking about work or whatever behind me. I hate watching sports with multiple people. I hate it. So everything about sports bars is like not for me.
Yeah. Because you're there. It's not a social function for you. It's truly love of the game.
And I don't like games that are like big, like the Super Bowl or whatever. Like I don't really like football that much. I don't really enjoy this, like games that I otherwise you would think like, oh, well, I don't care about that much about this game, so I'll go and enjoy it socially. Like, I don't have fun. Like, I know all the rules of football. I know football pretty well. I don't really have fun sitting with a group of like 10 other guys, like getting drunk collectively watching the Super Bowl. Like, that's just not fun. I'd rather like be talking about something and like hanging out and doing dumb shit or whatever. Like, it's just not, I don't like socially watching games.
Yeah.
That I'm not concerned whether or not I'm hearing the announcer or whatever. So there's just like no happy medium for me in a sports bar.
Interesting. All right. Well,
now you know. Now you won't find me at a sports bar.
Not a big sports bar guy, dude. That old West style bar though, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we bought some 10-gallon hats and like some fucking vests and suspenders or something.
We should hit up. We should hit up a. What are they called? The place where you buy used clothes for like $2.
A Goodwill.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Goodwill and see if we can find any cowboy outfits. Or just Amazon.com it.
Dude,
just full-blown cowboy costume for like $20. And we gotta, for the meme, we gotta throw on the shitty mustache.
Dude, I was gonna say, this is the second time we'll have showed up to like a function completely inappropriate cowboy costumes.
Yeah. Yeah, showing up as like a rancher with a mustache was incredible.
We're gonna start working on our accents now. Yeah.
Do you remember when we showed up to that party and the one she was an iconic personality for multiple reasons, but she made a comment. She's like, "Oh, Chris, I didn't even recognize you." And I was just wearing a fucking cowboy hat and a mustache. I was like, I'm just wearing a hat. And then Blank Nasty well, actually, no, you can just figure that out. It's Chuck Nasty. It killed him. It just fucking killed him. I'll bleep his name, whatever. But that's the hardest I've ever made someone laugh, I think, in my life.
Dude, what a legend.
Yeah.
I missed that guy already. Damn, dude.
What do you think he's up to?
Dude, I bet he's probably...
Did he graduate?
I think so. I think he did.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, he's probably in
Junior
waste management.
Spring he graduated?
That sounds right, yeah. Because he was a semester behind. Yeah, anyway. Hyper local gossip. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. That's boring bullshit. Chuck fucking nasty.
Chuck fucking nasty. Damn, dude, I'm feeling slow today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been off my game. Yeah, I'm just feeling not with it, not with the program. I feel like I'm being a poor conversationalist, but no. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
No, I think you're killing it. I'm just spending too much time talking.
No, it's good because I don't know what I would talk about, to be honest with you.
Yeah. If there's one thing I'm really good at in life, it's like making my point and then like not wanting to be done. So I just like keep remaking it in slightly different versions. And it's, that's why it's like hard for me to listen to the podcast sometimes, because I just like will repeat shit in slightly different ways. And I know I'm doing it and I hate it.
That means you should probably write a book. Right? Because isn't that what most fucking
attention span to do that? But yeah. No, I would be everything about me, I'd be a fucking iconic philosophy professor. Just say
so get after it, dude. What are you waiting for?
I don't want to go get a fucking PhD. I've got a job that pays me. I don't want to go get a goddamn PhD in a field which it's getting harder and harder every year to get a job. And like the people with PhDs in philosophy that can't find work. So no.
I mean,
absolutely
that's
not. There's so think about like the world of audiovisual and with how much like the next wave of working is going to be more and more hiring remote workers from all over the world and all over the country and shit. There's so much room for growth in this field of like knowing how to run video conferences, how to film things, like all that. Like there's no reason for me to leave. And I love digital music, so it's like a direct connection. And it's there's no reason for me to do anything else.
This is a really stupid question, but if you have a philosophy PhD, like what do you do? What are the usual, besides outside of just like academia?
That's it.
That's it. That's the only thing you can do.
That's fully it. You could get jobs. You would probably be pretty darn qualified to get jobs that like, political advisor, like those kinds of things, but like where you could just as easily, if you spent all your time and effort, where you'd be more directly qualified, like if you spent your time and effort getting a master's in something or something, then like, but there's nothing where it's like just PhDs around, unless you're a professor with philosophy. There's nothing else.
So that really is it.
Yeah, like in theory with other things, right? Like with the STEM PhDs, you can either go to academia or you can go into research, or you can, work in any different kind of labs, definitely with like an PhD in anything relating finance, econ, business management, any of that shit. I don't even know. Well, do they have PhDs in that, or is it just they have PhDs in econ and then masters of MBA, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
All that boring old shit. Like most other fields have different, but like soc, philosophy. I mean, even soc, there's more things you could do. You could work in the field of big data, right? But not really with philosophy. Who gives a fuck? So yeah, there's nothing unless you're dead. There's basically. This is again. I could have answered your question in way less time. The advice that's given to every philosophy student who's considering getting a PhD in philosophy is only get a PhD in philosophy if you are 100% sure you want to be a philosophy professor.
Okay. Well, that answers that right there.
Yeah, I should have just said that.
So kind of if you think about it, though, getting a philosophy doctorate is a pyramid scheme because the number of job openings are directly related to the demand for more philosophy education. So it has to keep going up.
That's epic.
Yeah, and if it
That
stops,
makes me so much cooler. I was a failed member of a pyramid scheme. They couldn't get me to buy it.
to go all the way up. So you stopped after undergrad.
Yeah, I'm such a fucking loser. But I got out. Fucking got out, dude.
Dude,
Thank God.
Does it feel good to get out, or do you feel a yearning?
No, I
for
feel
what could
no
have been.
yearning. Absolutely none. I'm so content with my life right now. Absolutely no yearning. None in the world. All I need to do is just get paid. If my job will start to pay me, then we're good.
That's the one key. Big if. God, how fucked up is that?
Yeah,
your employers
like,
are hapless, dude.
It's illegal. Like at this point, like some law must have been broken. It's January 17th. My offer letter, which I signed, which is like, I think like in some ways, it's like a legal document.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, yeah. I'm not a lawyer. We are not lawyers, but but still.
Some would say it's a legal document. And that my start date on that document was December 6th. It is now January 17th, and I have yet to receive a penny. So
yeah, that definitely, it sounds very illegal. I'm obviously not an expert, but
some would say it's illegal.
Some would say.
We can just say that about anything.
We can perhaps infer that it might be illegal, or at least some people think it might be. Yeah, dude, that's pretty fucked up. So, I don't, at what point? So the holdup with paying you is that you're not in the system, right?
Yeah, somehow I didn't end up in their fucking system.
Oh, good. All right.
I don't, which is dumb because I went to, basically it's just HR being inept and being shitty at their jobs and not getting me properly processed. Like, the thing is, like, I'm not worried. Like, if I get paid and it's like less than what I'm expecting or some shit, like I will yell at everyone until it gets sorted out. I'm not worried about. Like, I'm very much the anxious kind of person who's like constantly worried if I'm like doing enough at work and all that kind of, like, I deal with all that anxiety. When it comes to like my payment didn't go the way it was meant to go, or that kind of shit, I will yell at anyone. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because then you're being ripped off. Then they're taking you for a sucker. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking sucker. Y'all are suckers for hiring me to do half an hour of work a day. Y'all are fucking suckers. But if you're gonna hire me, you better fucking pay me.
To the terms of contract.
Yeah.
That's it, man. What do you think your first big purchase with that first fat check is gonna be?
February rent.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro. My first fun purchase is going to be a music desk, because I'm currently, I wish the podcast could include just like a 20-second visual clip right now. I'm in like a music studio. Since you were here, I've put most of my acoustic foam on the wall. I've got my speakers set up. I've got I've got 3 different microphones. I've got my multiple different guitars, all my shit. It's like perfect. And I started to record some guitars today and it sounds awesome. The room is great, but there's just no furniture. It's just an air mattress is the only thing I can sit on. And then a bunch of like books and random shit to put mics on. So my first, like, I'm going to use Facebook Marketplace to buy like most of my just like furniture for like, lounging. But the one thing I'm going to not buy cheap on and spend more than I need to is just to get a really fucking high quality music desk. So that's going to be my first fun purchase, which sounds so boring, but
hey, dude, if it works, it works. I will say your apartment setup is very funny because you have what looks like is supposed to be basically a 1-bedroom. But the bedroom is just a music studio. So you have a studio apartment with an additional music you're turning into a music studio. Yeah.
Which is epic. It's all I need, because the thing was, like, I would be totally content in a studio apartment. I don't need a ton of space. So I was like, oh shit, 1,400, and I get a whole room I was preparing mentally, starting this job, to be in a studio and having to find a way to deal with the hassle of having my bed and my music desk in the same room. I was fully prepared for that. Now I don't have to deal with that. I can choose the size of, I'm going to put a futon in here. Because they're great for absorbing sound, but also just like as a place for someone to sleep. or something like that. But yeah, it'll be epic. My bed's out and my bed fits so well in that little corner.
That's true. It's a good point.
It like the corner looks like it's got like shelves above it and a closet right next to it. Like it kind of like just on its own, it very much looks like just like it should be where a bed would go.
Yeah, the room really does look like a studio apartment.
Yeah,
it's just not.
Which is incredible. I really need to get like a coffee table or something to put the projector on, so it's not just on the floor, because that's annoying.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are things that you make it work.
These are minor problems.
Yeah. Am I gonna? What's gonna be my first purchase that the people would care about? Probably an Xbox. That's what would get the people's juices.
Not a full cocktail bar.
Not a full cocktail bar. Maybe one day when I'm making, I don't know,
the big bucks.
Yeah. The day I get him. Okay. So the other, just real quick, like, I don't know if I told you this. There was the guy who had the position before me. He left to take a job as an audiovisual tech. So like not moving up. Like he wasn't like a manager or supervisor.
Yeah. Just
with a company.
Move.
Yeah. Lateral move as far as title, but his pay was like $85K. And I'm making like 52. And like, that was just from, he'd been working for like a couple of years or something. So I'm, as far as like not pursuing philosophy, like it's not out of the realm of possibility that like before I'm 30, I'm making over 80K. That might be a stretch, but it might be possible too. So anyways, and I'm going to try my best to commit to, not being the kind of motherfucker who like, once I get over that 70, 80K range, like start to really care about making a ton more than that. But anyways, that was my real quick snippet.
You gotta, yeah. Once you hit that diminishing return to wealth, or rather income, you just call it there. Just write it out, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I want more money is not to buy a big house, not to buy a car, it's just because there's unlimited like music equipment that I want. So that's where it would all go. And I don't think that that's the most like inherently toxic thing to be. I don't know. I'm not after the money for like my status. Like I don't think that more money makes me more powerful. Well, it does, but it's more cool.
It's the only thing that makes you more powerful.
Yeah. In fact, it's weird for me because now I've moved out of that like hourly range into the salary thing where like people who are working around me who are like hourly people like see me in my fucking untuck it and my, like whatever, the business casual fuck that everyone wears to the office nowadays. And like they see me and they're like, they're basically like acknowledging me as if like they're like my servant or something. And I'm like, gee, like
it makes you very aware of kind of like the class relations as to where you stand.
I was just there as I was for a year or so. No, less than a year. 8 months. I was a full-time cashier. Like, and to see that, and all of a sudden it's like people are expecting that like there's a decent chance that like if they don't, get out of my way when I'm walking down the hall, like, I might get mad or like report it to someone or some shit. And I hate
which is kind of scary. Yeah, it's not a great feeling, honestly.
I really hate it. And I want them to feel, but I know that like if I like try and like stop and have a conversation and be like, hey, no, it's okay, don't worry about it, like it'll come across as like condescending and because I know in that when you're in that type of job, you're just like, Jesus fuck, I don't want to talk to any of these.
Just leave me alone. Yeah.
Leave me the fuck alone. Yeah. So I try and just like, if anything, I give a head nod.
That's it. An acknowledgement of humanity, but then it's.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make their life as easy as possible. Because what a fucking hellhole. What a fucking joke that. I mean, it is a fucking joke. I have no problem acknowledging that there's no reason in hell I should be. If I had stayed as a cashier, I think I would have been making at at what they were paying me per hour, I think I would have been making less than 30K a year.
Yeah.
I was at 13 an hour. So maybe it's around 30. I don't know. But now I'm like, I'm a 20 grand plus increase in salary. And I don't like, yes, my job is important to the function of the place, but so is the goddamn people cleaning it.
Yeah.
There's no reason in hell that our pay should be different.
So even if the labor market or whatever, that it should be different at all.
Maybe by like a couple grand or some shit, but like not because anybody with a month or two of training could do what I do.
You think? I don't know if you're giving yourself enough credit there, but
yeah, maybe that's not true. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I guess it's not that there shouldn't be. Yeah, no, that's fair. It shouldn't be as drastic as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
I think like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should probably like AV techs, like whatever. We should probably make like 70K and janitors should probably make like 50K or whatever the fuck. I don't know. Who cares? But it's.
Yeah, it seems like the disparity is too large, and I mean, really, the problem is that there's no safety net, right? So you start making above a certain amount, and you have enough that you can begin saving, and you're not trapped in like this self-perpetuating like debt pit or whatever. But you fall under that, and like one medical bill or whatever, like a minor car repair could set you back in a really serious way, and it seems like that's just like fundamentally unfair. So it seems like there's some kind of threshold you need to cross to have upward mobility, and it seems like everyone should have a shot at that. It seems like, but it also seems like the labor you're doing does take more investment in education in some way than being a janitor in all probability, which is not to say that like, oh, it's a bad job, like no one should do it. But the reality is just like the amount of training required there is not as much as doing what you do. So it seems like there's, a greater supply of those people, and, non-trivial demand as well. But it seems like being an AV tech is probably a slightly more advantageous position overall.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't necessarily have a problem with your compensation, but the fact that like someone can work full time and still not make ends meet, like even remotely, is fucked up.
Yeah.
So that's my.
I guess it's almost more like how I view it is like if the system, it's almost like the rational way of thinking about this should be that maybe, and this doesn't actually make any sense, but it's like that I should be getting paid more, but that the way that they're like the norms of how they're treated should be flip-flopped. Like I should be treated like the lowest scum of the earth because I work for like I do exactly what they need me to do, which is like every once in a while, like something's not working and I fix it and they have no clue how to fix it. So they're totally satisfied with what I'm doing. But as far as like my total output and what I'm there to do, like on the rank of like who should be treated, if we're going to treat anyone like scum, it should be fucking me. Like, hey, you're sitting in your goddamn chair watching YouTube video, get your ass up here and fix the goddamn, like I should be treated like that. And the person who's cleaning the goddamn toilet that you just shit in after eating 5 fucking spicy chicken sandwiches, like that person should be like, hey, like, thank you for the work you do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
That person should be thanked more. And maybe they shouldn't be, whatever. Like I come in there and like, something's plugged in backwards and I just replug it in. Like, oh my gosh, thank you. Or my whole presentation would have been ruined if it wasn't for you. I'm going to talk to your supervisor and like give like that shit isn't that uncommon in what I do. Cause it's like, people don't know how to use computers and I just like fix it. But yeah, there's no one's manager is getting hey, this employee did a great job cleaning that toilet that I just went diarrhea in for fucking 20 minutes.
Right. So it seems like the norms of respect are also pretty fucked up there.
Get much respect. I shouldn't get much respect, but maybe I should get paid more. I think that's the rational way of thinking.
Maybe. Yeah, I think.
Well, maybe I should. I don't know. I shouldn't get paid more, but it just the norms of like, there aren't as many people who could do what I do as there are people who could be janitors. So
but it's also a much grosser, more unpleasant job. So there you go.
Yeah, we should be more thankful for them than for me.
We should. But no, all you get is a fucking like thank you essential workers banner, and that's it. So hope you're happy, essential workers.
Yeah, by the way, thank you, but also if you're concerned about COVID, you have pre-existing conditions or any of that shit, that's funny. We put up the sign here that says thank you, so why don't you go back to fucking work and deal with it, you motherfucker.
Why don't you stop asking fucking questions, huh?
But
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
my manager who just tells me what to clean, they can work remotely. We don't need them in person.
Oh God.
Think of the safety. Think of the children.
Think of
Children's have got to go to their rich ass private school.
the children need to go to. Can you imagine the harm we're doing to children by not sending them to school? We just need to put everyone in the line of fire. That's what we have to do, dude.
Yeah. Kids are too fucking soft these days. We should mandatory fucking breathing on each other without masks. Boost that immune system, baby.
Yes.
Natural
Everyone needs to
immunity.
spit in each other's mouth.
Yes.
Because natural immunity is better than the vaccine.
Yeah. Many are saying.
Many are saying.
Many, including Joe Rogan. Did you see that clip of like the doctor who he had on just completely was like, Joe Rogan was, I don't even remember. It was like myocarditis or something. He's like,
yes.
It's like unvaccinated people are less likely to get it. And the doctor's like, well, no, that's not true. And then he's like, oh, no, I don't think that's true. Let's look it up. And then look it up. And
then he has to qualify it like, no, this isn't on.
This is interesting. It's not what I've read before. And where are these numbers coming from? Yeah. Fucking idiot. Fuck Joe Rogan.
One of the funniest things over the past kind of 18, or I guess since the beginning of the pandemic, is seeing his subreddit progressively turn on him more and more and more.
Yeah.
That's good shit, man. It's getting to the, I don't know if you've been on the Dave Rubin subreddit, but it's getting there in terms of
been on the Dave Rubin subreddit.
It's good stuff, man.
Did you see, do you know Michael Knowles?
Yeah.
He's one of the Daily Wire guys. He had a tweet the other day. Like he tweeted out the literal, and I really think it's hard to tell a little bit, but I really think he didn't mean it. Like, or he didn't understand the irony in his tweet. Like he tweeted out the like classic, like, hey, liberals, if climate change exists, why is it snowing in Nashville? Like,
just brilliant,
2022. Dude. And he tweeted that shit out.
Brilliant stuff. Well, it's good to see that we're still on the same fucking talking points from like 2008, if not before.
If the free marketplace of ideas really was a free fucking marketplace, and people who worked in the business of talking about ideas worked there because they were the best understanders of ideas, Michael Knowles, Dave, so many of these people would not be working in the field that they work in. The free marketplace of ideas clearly does not exist.
Clearly not. Clearly a resounding failure.
Resounding failure. And then there's this online Twitter talking point from conservatives that just doesn't fail to like completely baffle me, which is the whole like they were pissed about Australia deporting fucking Djokovic, the tennis player, because and I can't remember if he lied about getting back. He wasn't vaccinated, and they have the vaccine mandate, so they deported him or whatever. And there's just like this conservative talking point about the vaccine, which is so retarded, which is that they'll acknowledge, this is the only time they'll acknowledge it, because most of the time they don't want to. But for this talking point, they'll say the vaccines do, what they do is they minimize the risk of people who would otherwise maybe have to be hospitalized for COVID. And so maybe they won't get as sick. What it clearly isn't doing is they'll state it as if it's fact that the vaccine is not reducing the risk of transmitting the virus. So it's like this logic of like, why should a healthy person get the vaccine?
Yeah.
Because they won't go to the hospital anyways, and the vaccine doesn't. But it's the same. I mean, they just don't want to acknowledge that it does, in fact, reduce, even though it's not perfect. It doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's this common like way of arguing, and particularly in conservative circles, that like if something isn't a perfect fix, then it actually is completely and totally useless. And so it's literally like it would be like the conservative saying, like, eating a really healthy, well-balanced diet can't guarantee I won't have a heart attack. So why should I eat healthy?
I mean, if you've met some older conservatives, that is literally like a line that you may actually get. So it's not completely out there, right? Like the joke on Twitter or whatever is that if we tried to pass like seatbelt legislation now, it would never fly, which is frankly probably true, because after all, if seatbelts aren't 100% effective in saving your life in the case of a car crash, fucking why bother?
Yeah, why is this the norm? Why do we just accept this as the norm of political discourse? It's like it's the fucking the people the centrist response to, like, this can't be, if someone's going to argue against Medicare for all, the response can't be, well, think about how complicated it would be to get it out there, and inevitably like we'd screw up and like some people wouldn't get covered, and like, you know, it's kind of a tough, it's like this argument that we shouldn't strive for progress because we won't get it perfect right away.
It's insane. It's so dumb.
It's so dumb. But it's just like everyone like thinks that they're like Mr. Intellectual for bringing that up. It's like, no, you fuck you.
I think because first of all, it's always easier to defend the status quo, right? But I think beyond that, people don't really understand. I don't know if this is going to sound like really pretentious of me or whatever. People don't really understand probability. I think if you ask the average, if you ask the average American, I flip, a coin 10 times. So just a regular coin, 50-50 chance every time. I flip it 10 times, I get heads every single time. On my 11th flip, my more or less, or the same likelihood of getting heads or tails. Most people will say tails because it's like, well, heads have come up 10 times. But it's just, this is one of the fucking first things you learn. If it's 50-50 every time, it's 50-50 every time. And I literally said it.
It's that concept you learn when you're playing certain board games where it matters. Like if you're playing Risk or something, that people can't wrap their minds around, which is the difference in saying the odds that I roll a 1 6 times in a row is 1 in 36, but the odds each roll, it's 1 in 6, like that difference. And on top of that, statistical variance. So like,
oh God, dude,
like people can't, that's what the climate change shit like is one where people can't even begin. It's the most simple concept once you've got it. So many people don't have it, which is that when you look at something like temperature, and we're saying it's going up, most people like know that doesn't mean that each day it's going up like 0.1 degrees exactly dead rate.
Actually, I'm not sure that most people. I
think most people know that that's not exactly what it means. But when you throw out the statistical, like they have no, and like this comes up in baseball all the time. Like this is a great analogy for it, where people who are anti-analytics, which is like, it just doesn't make any sense. And anyways, to be like anti-data. It's just not, it doesn't.
Epic position, by the way.
Epic position.
Very
They'll say
cool.
like, it can't, analytics is great and all, but like, if that was the way to judge the game, then a computer would be a good GM, because a computer can't like pick up on like when a player's hot or cold. Like we gotta go with the guy who's hot. I don't care what the analytics say. Like we want the guy at plate who's on a hot streak, who's feeling it. And it's people, it's this exact thing coming to play where they can't understand the concept of like analytics doesn't somehow tell us that hot and cold streaks don't exist. There's just a general understanding that there's a variance from the mean when we're talking about a player on average being better than another player, that includes in that player inevitably is going to stray up and down.
Right.
And people can't understand that that's not only not anti-data, that's like an expected part of any average of things.
Yes, that's just how data sets work. I think what it is, like very fundamentally, is that uncertainty is really scary, and people will like bend over backwards to not have to think about it. So
Yeah.
anything that anything that's probabilistic in any sense is immediately just like brain turns off.
Hmm.
And because it's just weird. It's spooky.
Yeah. And it's like people need to remember, right? Like if you got 4 people in a room, it's statistically very possible that the average height is 6 feet without any one person being 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And people need to like, they just like can't. And so this like pointing out an outlier as proof that the general consensus is wrong is just so it's so common, and it's such a
Yeah.
part of political discourse, fitness discourse.
Oh my God.
Anything.
Once you start getting into like the difference between like magnitude of difference of mean and statistical significant difference of mean, that's a mind fuck for people too. I was in a job where I kind of had to like explain this to people who had like, kind of were not statistically literate. And the idea that like the mean of one group can be notably higher than the mean of another, but because the variances are sufficiently large and or the population sizes are sufficiently small, you can't actually draw any like inference about how meaningful that difference is.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, what do you mean? Well, the average is bigger than the other average. Like, well, yeah, but it doesn't. It's just not significant. So that's a mind fuck as well. I think for people.
It shows up in so many places. Damn, we should start mandating statistics courses be taught. Would help a lot of shit.
I kind of think we should.
Yeah, it should be. It should certainly be like the I don't know. I don't know what the perfect balance is, but it shouldn't be math as is taught shouldn't be so heavily like trig calc based and like maybe a statistics elective. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like it should be much more 50-50 if that's possible.
Yeah.
Maybe that just means we don't expect anyone to reach calculus by high school. Calculus is like an exclusive thing that you learn in college, but then I know we'd be falling behind on the math. And so I don't know what the right solution is, but there needs to be a better, because it's like it comes up in so many ways, and if you don't understand it, you're going to have a fundamentally flawed view of everything. Like one of the first things you learn in econ is that like the technical like the absolute perfect dead technical market equilibrium like doesn't really exist in practice.
Yeah, there's no static equilibrium. Yeah,
but we need to understand the concept of what it means in order to like branch out into economic theory.
Yeah.
And so like I mean it's just everywhere. People don't fucking understand. And this is where I spend hours of my life wasting away on Twitter debating old fucks. Like, I hate them damn analytics,
dude. I just love
we don't care about batting average anymore. It's like, that's a fucking analytic, you idiot.
This is so far as someone who doesn't follow sports, the idea that someone can be anti-analytics is just so like fundamentally bizarre to me. That's crazy.
The majority of sports discourse, particularly those on like network television and shit, where it's all people like over the age of 40, is very much like, we're ruining the feel of the game because we're hiring young new GMs and coaches who are making their decisions on analytics. And it's this like the feel of the game. The feel. It's
just this emotional appeal because there's no argument for why they actually shouldn't do it, right? Other than this just kind of like nebulous thing that no one can prove or disprove.
This idea is so easy to grasp on, and it's so easy to like, people will naturally fall into it if a traditional way of viewing something is challenged by new and more complicated ways of analyzing something.
Mm-hmm.
So people who don't understand what weighted runs created plus means in a baseball world and have traditionally grown up using batting averages the way they're both analytics, they both use quote unquote objective data to arrive upon the stat that we're using to value a player. But certain people think that it's somehow more feel based to judge a player regarding their average because it's
more intuitive, right? That's all that it is. It's just more intuitively easy to understand.
Yeah. but that doesn't mean
It doesn't mean
there are very simple stats which we can all acknowledge are meaningless a lot of the times in judging things.
Right.
So, it's why we don't always go with, average income would not be a good way of analyzing a city.
Right.
As far as it just wouldn't, that wouldn't be a great way to do it for very obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Anyways, God, we're sounding like such pretentious assholes, but I love it. It's going to get all sorts of people riled up. It's going to get
no, dude, this is good. We can clip the shit out of this. We got to balance it out. We got to balance it out and do the Pink Whitney episode at some point. That'll be the
Pink Whitney. There's one of the liquor stores near me has the New Amsterdam vodka plastered all over the outside of it, so there must be Pink Whitney's.
Oh, dude, they for sure got it.
Yeah.
Dude, they had a fucking Pink Whitney flag at that bar we went to.
Yeah, that was epic.
Do we both want to try and kill a bottle, or do we want to split a bottle and race to finish our half? Because a full bottle is I think 17 or 18 shots. Yeah, but if we split it,
yeah, so that's like we should split it and just race.
We start the episode sober, and we just have to finish.
Yo, I'm just fucking down to do that. Well, no, we said this weekend we're not buying any new booze. We'll see. If I get paid this week, then I could afford it.
If my dad Venmos me back I took my brothers out to dinner, and he said, "It's on me. Don't worry about it." So if he Venmos me back for that, then I will be hashtag in the money.
That's one of those like situations where someone says they're going to give you some money, but they're kind of doing it in like a favor based way. So if they forget, you feel like an asshole for bringing it up.
Yeah, I do feel like an asshole for. I still don't know if I'm going to bring it up, but
yeah, it's like I taught these two. I taught these two media labs this fall at the media company I was working for back up in the Hanover area, and it was like one of those things where it wasn't required of us. It was volunteer, and it was like it was presented to us as doing something to help the media company out and a way of sharing a skill set that we're particularly skilled and interested in. Basically, as a way of saying we don't have the money to pay you for leading this workshop. Enough people signed up that like after the workshops were done, there was like, enough people signed up. We actually have got the extra money to pay each of you a little bit for this. And then I never got paid. And then it's like,
wasn't in the contract. So, go fuck yourself. Sorry,
I did it without agreeing to it. And I don't want to be a hassle to be like, hey, so you said this like face to face, even though like all like the emails and shit about it, it was clear that I wasn't supposed to get paid. Like, it's like, do I really want to bring it up and be a hassle about it? I don't know. But it would have been like $300 or something. Like would have been nice. But
non-trivial.
Yeah. Would have certainly paid for a Pink Whitney.
Just like if you guys were to, or a lot of weed, if you guys were to support us on Patreon, we could also finally afford to get a Pink Whitney.
What can we entice the people with? What can we offer them?
I don't know, dude. What can we offer them?
I think the only thing we can do is like if they like our content enough, like we just start uploading shit that only goes to Patreon.
Yeah.
It's like
Patreon. Well, we're at the scale now where theoretically we could just have someone on. If you pay us fucking fine, you get $1 for 3 minutes that you get to join a call.
Just like for fun, but not for the. But we're not going to be. There was some motherfucker who was trying to start a baseball podcast, and he made some like Twitter thread about how he's like, we need to change the way we view media. So, this guest who I had scheduled to come onto my podcast was upset that I asked them to pay me for coming on my podcast. And like, we need to change how we fundamentally view. Like, I'm taking the time out of my day to include you in my work. Pal, you should pay. Okay, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
fuck off. So no, we're definitely not going to accept money for people to come on the podcast. That being said, if you offer us enough money,
we will let you come on the podcast,
and then just won't upload it.
Yeah, but you'll get to know. It'll be like your own private thing. We can make fun of you. We can do illicit sex acts for you if you pay us enough. We can, I'm willing to do a lot.
What if I just don't record the two of us? And so I
And it's just
upload the episode and it's just the one kid.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
We don't associate with fucking normies. You're not based enough. You don't reach the base
unless
threshold.
unless you can prove that you reach the threshold.
And you know how you do that? By keep giving us more money.
Yes, exactly. You just got to keep funneling us money.
Eventually, I can't give an exact dollar amount because that would be bribing. But eventually, at a certain point, you'll reach enough where you're based.
You'll just have to make us an offer we can't refuse. It's really that simple.
Tempt us a little bit, and if we like it, we'll accept it. We'll see how we feel about it.
You can tempt us, and we may tempt you, and we can work something out.
Yeah. Bring you back to the fucking hotel room later. Yeah. No, fuck little kids. We can't be making sex jokes about little kids. But
no, there's not little kids, dude.
It's gonna be little.
If you're under the age of 19, please stop listening to us immediately.
Fuck off.
Please go away. We have no interest in hanging out with you. Frankly, really, if you're younger than like 23.
If you are not between the ages of 23 and 27, go to fucking hell. Stop. Get out of here.
If you are, this podcast is for you. If you're not.
Also, if you're not like fucking, I don't know, like angsty fucking white kid from New England.
It's just us. This podcast is only for ourselves.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Fair enough. Now the Pink Whitney episode, that'll be for general audiences.
For the people.
The people are going to like that. I mean, the best episode we ever did, there were parts where I was not quite browning out, but damn close.
Yeah, the one we did in person.
Yeah, dude, because I had 2 of those beers and then I had like 3 fucking things of whiskey. That shit was good. That was good shit. That was our.
Yeah, we killed it. Yeah,
we did kill it.
Damn, we went through a lot of bourbon the other night.
We went through a lot of bourbon. Pink Whitney's on me because
no. You paid for so much other shit. Plus, you like Venmoed me $20. And I don't even know why.
Oh,
that was just like a hey, like
it's the hosting fee. Yeah, it's thanks for hosting.
Start charging people $20 once they come through my door. Just start Venmo requesting $20 from anyone who comes over.
Sorry, bro, that's the fee. You got to pay up, bitch.
And, yeah. Damn. Can you imagine how cool we would have been as a fraternity if we made guys pay money to come to our parties?
That's what I was saying, dude. We would become cooler if we started charging a cover fee. It's like the Grey Goose effect.
Dude, you know what we could do? We could charge we could pick any amount we wanted. $10. $10 for a guy to get in. We pay girls $5.
Why didn't we do that? That would get shut down so quick.
It wouldn't have worked where we went to school.
No, dude. People didn't care enough about money. That was the problem.
People did not give, people were, where we went to school, people were not living like capitalists.
People were not. Except for me. I live like a capitalist every day, but everyone else.
Did you see someone posted on our alum fraternity page, the post from, I won't say his name, but the post was like which brothers didn't get the vaccine.
Oh, based.
Did you see that post?
No, I didn't. Should I?
Well, no, you shouldn't, because it's just boring, dumb comments. But the dude who kind of looked like a capitalist, kind of didn't. Your epic should have been your big, but wasn't your big.
Oh yeah,
tagged you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, great! Now I have to jump.
Christ, leave. He's like, how are you still on his mind?
Dude, I never go away. I'm a legend. I should hang out with him now that we're both back on the East Coast.
Dude, he fucks.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, he does fuck. He's a fucking beast, dude. The one thing is I still run the Facebook page for my former employer. So they've just like completely like just monopolized my notifications. It's all that company.
Wait, why don't you just get rid of it?
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I can't de-affiliate myself from the page. Someone on the other end has to do it.
Oh, well, just email them and be like, yo, get me the fuck out of here. Or
Dude,
can you not just turn off notifications?
Yeah, I can, but then I'd lose all notifications. Maybe I can.
You probably could
to
turn
be
off
honest with you, I haven't
notifications
really
from just them. But also,
really
like, who
looked
gives
that
a fuck
deeply
about
into it.
Facebook notifications? Like,
True. I kind of like this actively not caring thing.
yeah, no,
This is
that's
good.
much more Chad of you to like not know that someone tagged you in something because you just
Yeah.
get so many noties.
Who cares? If someone actually like wants to talk to me, like, just shoot me a DM. I'm fairly responsive.
Slide into my Slack DMs if you
Yeah,
really
dude. Add me on Slack Connect.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Depending
use
on the
Slack?
hour of the day, if it's business hours, hit me up on Slack. If it's nighttime, hit me up on Discord.
Discord.
Disky.
Yeah, dude. That's
send me a
hit me on the Disky.
Hit me in the Instagram DMs.
Oh, dude, for sure.
I mean Instagram DMs.
I don't have Instagram on my phone anymore. So it's huge move right there. It is.
I have really it, good. And surprisingly, like I really don't feel inclined to check it that often. Like I don't have a problem with it, which is weird and not like me. Like
no, that's good. If you don't have a problem with it, keep it. I mean, if it's not fucking with you, who cares?
Addicted to it.
Yeah.
But for so long, like I genuinely didn't, because I've never been the person to really care about like on my personal account, like how many like. Well, no, not never, but like in middle school and high school, I cared about those things, and eventually I sort of grew out of it. So I've never cared about like my Instagram like followers or how many likes I get on a post, that kind of shit. It only mattered where like I felt the external pressure from my last relationship to like be Mr. Cool Instagram bro and get lots of likes and all that shit. And now that I'm like actually kind of in the genuinely moving past it stage where I don't give a shit about what she thinks of me anymore. I mean, that's not entirely true, but like I'm getting there. There's like a lifted, like I can just check Instagram for fun and like there's no like pressure. It's epic. And I follow here's the real trick. Just follow the hot girls that you went to school with and don't follow anyone else. I felt no pressure to follow any dudes who I like didn't really care about. And I was like, I'm not gonna see these people ever again. So I'm just gonna start following hot girls who we went to school with. Make my Instagram fun.
Damn, that's a trick right there, everyone. Just start horny posting on Maine because fuck it, why not?
Yeah, why the fuck?
Who's gonna stop you?
Yeah, who is gonna stop me? The Zuck. Too attractive. All right. Anyways, we've been recording for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, dude.
Give us money on Patreon. We gotta go to bed because we gotta work like fucking losers.
Nap time. God, we're so fucking lame, dude.
Yeah, I'm about to get zoinked and watch the Penguins and go to bed.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, until next time, possible Pink Whitney episode.
Gang.
Gang.